Redditor and gamer. These are the two most embarrassing things one can self-identify as. Now, what if you identified as both of these things at once and mashed them together? Well, you get one of the most toxic combinations possible that can actually lead to several different roads, all of which we will cover in this video. So let's talk about gamers. Now imagine somebody calling you stupid, sending you death threats, telling you that you're a horrible human being based off of something you did. For somebody to get that angry, you must have done something really horrible. And you'd be right, because these three things happen consistently when people disagree on video games. There are political debates that are less toxic than your average gaming debate. And for some reason, both gamers and Redditors are incapable of comprehending that it's okay to disagree with someone. But before we get right into it, I want to tell you about Opera GX. Opera GX is a browser that's going to get you to break up with your vanilla, missionary, lights off browser that you currently use. And you can customize it in any way you like. They have GX mods, so you can literally customize it to be anything your mind can think of, or you can use one of the preset mods they have here. Would you like to hear fart noises every time you type a key for some reason? You can do that with Opera. Or, maybe something a little more practical like bruh SFX. Here, do you want to see what bruh SFX sounds like? Bruh, 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 bruh. It's great to have something to kind of customize to what you're used to. Personally, I like dark modes way better than light modes, and I love some of the dark modes that Opera GX offers. It's just way easier on my eyes. But I think one of the best parts about Opera GX is having the feature that literally shows you when certain games are going on sale. Given how many games come out now completely unplayable, it's kind of stupid to buy things full price. But at the same time, it's also super easy to miss sales if you aren't constantly checking for said sales, and Opera has you covered for that. Opera GX also has an import tool that allows you to import all your settings from your previous browser to Opera GX. If you're interested, check them out. You can download it using my link in the description, and it's completely risk-free, and honestly, it just kind of spices up your computer using, and for me, it's been super helpful in keeping me productive. In this space, the only acceptable reaction to somebody having a differing opinion than you is 1, they must be stupid, or 2, they must be a bad person. This naturally leads to insanely toxic trends that are seemingly getting more and more out of control. So I present you Reddit gamers. So let's start with the limp-wristed, most boring gaming subreddit first, r/gaming. Now to understand r/gaming, you kind of have to understand early 2010s meme culture. Does anybody remember these awful memes that have aged terribly? These were unironic at the time. I know it's crazy to think they look ironic, but they're not. They look like they were posted by a nerd in over 30.
Samsung's like, we designed our phones to be able to go through and withstand a wide variety of environments and circumstances. Where Nokia's all like, bitch, we designed our phone to be able to withstand point blank sun going supernova. Get good, scrub!
But these were memes that people laughed at. Unfortunately, r/gaming is still, to this day, stuck in a time loop where they cannot leave the year 2013. This could also be due to the size of the Reddit and not wanting things to change. I mean, if you don't include r/announcements, then gaming is the third largest subreddit on the entire website. It's crazy how massive a market gaming is, and r/gaming reflects that. Over 40 million people are subbed to this, meaning r/gaming has a higher population than all of these countries. So you'd assume with all these people that there must be some extremely high quality posts, right? No. God, no. Most of the stuff posted here is just the same thing over and over again to farm glorious Reddit karma. Did you know that Ubisoft is a bad company? Or maybe Blizzard is also a bad company? And EA is, wait for it, a bad company? It's basically the most generic gaming opinions you could possibly have. Hot take, guys, but I think Dark Souls is actually better than the new Call of Duty game. And AAA game bad. Indie game good. All of this sprinkled in with remember when gaming was actually good posts. Have you guys heard of a LAN party? These guys also have a hard-on for the 90s for some reason. I mean, look how many posts are just old photos of people playing games. And all the memes they post have almost a corporate feel to them in a weird way. They all feel so sanitized and bizarre. Like, who is making these and who is upvoting them? I really don't understand the point of r/gaming. It's so massive that any genuine discussion about games gets drowned out for low-effort karma baiting posts. You'd be better off going onto a specific subreddit for a game that you actually like to discuss anything gaming related, as opposed to risking getting downvoted by the unwashed gaming masses. Now r/gaming, while very boring and generic, is pretty harmless at the end of the day. It's not like they're harassing people and sending them death threats for simply playing a game that they don't like. Speaking of, let's talk about gaming circle jerk. Now, circle jerking on Reddit is really an art form. Some of the funniest subreddits of all time, in my opinion, are circle jerk subreddits, particularly any sports subreddit, like the NBA circle jerk. I mean, some of this shit fucking kills me. Basically, the point of a circle jerk subreddit is to satirize the original subreddit, if that makes sense. It's supposed to be a parody of the original subreddit and making fun of the stereotypes there. So you'd assume r/gaming circle jerk would be funny. I mean, gamers are the easiest group of people in the entire world to parody, especially ones who take themselves too seriously.
Huh? Why are you so great? Because the fucking youth of society.
They have so much material to work with. So that was the original point of r/gaming circle jerk. Let's make fun of stereotypical gamers in an ironic way, and I will admit, some of the posts are actually kind of funny, especially the old ones. The subreddit leaned into the fact gamers don't want gay people in their games or women and minorities. And if you see where this is going, don't worry, we'll get there. Honestly, there is potential for humor there, and overall, it started as any other circle jerk subreddit. It did have political leanings, but honestly, regardless of the bias, comedy is comedy, and I think people can acknowledge that. This all changed when a certain video game was announced. The game that must not be named. Hogwarts Legacy. For some reason, this game became the most controversial game of all time. And that is saying something when games like Hatred and Manhunt exist. But why is the game about magic wizards the most controversial game ever? Because apparently J.K. Rowling is a TERF. This post from one of the mods came out and basically broke from the circle jerk and said anyone who supports anything J.K. Rowling has ever done is a transphobe. What? I'm not gonna get into all the J.K. Rowling stuff because that is a Bosnian minefield and you probably know about it anyway, but she didn't even write or do anything with the game. It was a completely different team. I guess she collects royalties, but still, like, I don't know why not boycott like the books or streaming platforms that have the movies if you're that passionate about it. I don't understand why this game in particular was the big one. Maybe I'm just not good at protesting. Also, I've played the game. There's literally a trans person in the game. But if you want to boycott something, sure, be my guest. Just don't buy it. Hell, even make a statement about why you're not buying it and move on. I don't think anyone's gonna get upset with that. Nobody is forcing you to buy a game. But no, that's not enough for Redditors. These people went on a warpath against this game, and anyone who was even remotely excited about the idea of a real Harry Potter game for the first time in like ever. It got so out of hand that most rational people were like, okay, Jesus guys, fucking relax. I'm not sure when people will realize that demonizing everyone around you doesn't make your cause sympathetic and actually does the opposite. The whole subreddit became dedicated to Hogwarts Legacy and how nobody should buy this game. I got something that's hilarious. Let's bully and harass people who decide to play this game. Notoriously left-wing streamer wants to play it? Shut it down!
The only reason why I'm not playing this game, and I know a bunch of other people are not playing this game, is because we know that it's not worth it to get fucking bullied endlessly and called transphobic endlessly. I got fucking yelled at endlessly and relentlessly on my alt account. Like, they were making it seem like I was already transphobic for even thinking about this. And now, look at that.
Other streamer says he enjoys the game. Send him death threats right now.
People have been apparently attacking me for supporting Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't even know I was getting harassed. I had no idea about this. Yeah, I come back, I'm like, I read this and I'm like, I see this video, I'm like, wait, I'm getting harassed, I'm being attacked. Wait, what? I thought everybody agreed with me.
A wholesome YouTube channel who is streaming the game and donating all the proceeds to a charity that helps trans people. Literally the whole point of our boycott. Let's harass them to the point where they cry on stream.
And every time I look at chat, it's just, the conversation is just like,
maybe we can do like
bothering
a
me.
be right back, like a little break or something.
We're the compassionate ones here. We're doing this for your own good. This boots on the ground work will surely affect the game sales. And you know what, guys? We did it. I am so proud of this community. We made Hogwarts Legacy the best-selling game of the year, outselling Zelda, Call of Duty, and all the other games here. Mission accomplished. And to this day, there are still people on this subreddit talking about Hogwarts Legacy. It comes across as like a derangement syndrome where these people just cannot let it go that this game sold well despite them boycotting it. Anyone making jokes or saying, hey guys, let's maybe chill on the harassment, boom, you are banned, buddy. The irony of a Circle Jerk subreddit not being able to take a joke is not lost on me. They literally turned into what they hated the most. They were supposed to parody the toxic gamers, but they ended up just becoming toxic gamers. I hate saying the word gamer. It feels dirty. I hate. Now this subreddit is notorious for harassing people even mentioning them. So I ask all the gaming circle jerkers, please do not leave super thanks comments that are death threats on this video. Please, I'm begging you, because if there's super thanks, I will have to read them. So please do not do that on this video. Okay, so now you've seen how toxic this side of gaming is. Are you ready to see the other side? Let's talk about the Voldemort of Reddit gaming. r/Gamers Rise Up. Now Gamers Rise Up, like Gaming Circle Jerk, was supposed to be a parody subreddit, but instead of whatever this is, they'd play into the stereotype to an absolute extreme, pushing the boundaries as far as they possibly could.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
Typically with an ironic, incel-like touch, often featuring the Joker in typical incel fashion. I know the Joker scene is kind of a meme right now, but back in the day, people used to make stuff like this, unironically. Now, these Gamers Rise Up posts were very edgy sometimes, but it's important to understand the context. This was done as a parody of gamers. People would unironically post shit like this. Does it cause physical pain to you to know that somebody made this seriously like it does to me? I know that in our hyper-ironic current climate, you'd assume these are fake, but I assure you, they are not. So the joke was to crank this gamer energy up to 100 and post hyper-ironic memes featuring the Joker.
David, I mean, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess.
The original point of Gamers Rise Up was to make fun of these cringe incel gamers. Weirdly enough, it was doing the exact same thing as Gaming Circle Jerk, just with a different spin. The best way to understand this is think of them parodying the nice guy trope. It makes a lot more sense that way. Now, most people can look at these and either go, yeah, this is obviously a joke, or at the bare minimum, my God, that is embarrassing if that is real. But honestly, there's so much irony in these that you'd have to be a total fool to think these were serious, right? Well, you should never underestimate the stupidity of incel Redditors. You see, there's a thing you might have heard of called Poe's Law. Basically, on the internet, unless you explicitly say you're joking, people will think that you're serious due to the nuances of an actual conversation being lost behind a screen. So unless you make the description of your gamer Joker post, this is a parody, some people are bound to take it seriously, and unfortunately for Gamers Rise Up, that is exactly what happened. They had people flooding the subreddit with posts that weren't dripped in nearly as much irony as before, and even worse, people in the comments sympathizing with these sentiments, even though the jokes were supposed to be at their expense. This also happened to occur after r/incels was banned, and clearly some of these people took refuge in r/Gamers Rise Up. In a weird horseshoe way, like Gaming Circle Jerk, it ended up turning into the subreddit it was trying to parody, except this one was fully banned, with all spin-off subs being banned as well. And in a weird way, I kind of understand why it was banned, even if the original was so goddamn funny. So where does this leave gamers today? Do they still have a safe space? Well, you'll be happy to know the most oppressed group of people in human history can take refuge in Reddit gaming India. Thanks for watching.